So, the guy that he was talking to was named Preston Vance. Apparently, he's had a couple of matches on AEW Dark. He is now named 10 since he's joined the Dark Order. I don't really recall watching any of his matches, so I can't really give you my opinion on him. But what did you think of this video package, Dave, with Brodie Lee? Another shot at Vince or Bray Wyatt? What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know if it's a shot at Bray Wyatt, because I think they have I don't know. I don't think you would. I think they're very close. I think they're still really close, but maybe. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's possible, but because I don't think Bray was handed everything. Because look what he's been treated. But still, a shot at Vince. I mean, likely, yeah. But I mean, it doesn't matter anymore. It just seems like that's all this. They changed this Dark Order stuff completely what I thought it was going to be. So I'm already confused on what the hell they're doing here. I don't even get it anymore. Because at first it seemed like it was supposed to be like this dark kind of cult-leading show. Now it seems like it's just a Brodie Lee army for some reason. Why does he need a faction? People are just going to compare it to the Wyatt family and Bray Wyatt. So why would you want to go the same route and not try to build your own path?
It definitely took a turn, that's for sure, because when they did first become this Dark Order type of group, before even Brodie Lee was even in the picture, it seemed like you said a very dark and kind of creepy like stable. They get Brodie Lee, and then all of a sudden they do a 360, and now he's like a mob boss kind of character now, where he doesn't take certain shit from anybody. You got to listen to what he says. If you don't, then you're going to get some consequences. I don't know if this is a dig at Vince. It could be. You know, we've heard a lot of stories about Vince McMahon that they have included into these segments. Maybe not particularly this week. Maybe the height and weight is questionable. But in the past ones, we've heard, you know, stuff that Vince McMahon has done or said that they have done in the shows. Of course, Cody.
Yeah, well, also,
hold on. Of course, Cody came out and said none of these are digs at Vince McMahon. They're not purposely trying to copy Vince McMahon with this Brodie Lee character. But it's been about a month since we've seen Brodie Lee.
Come on, they are though.
And it's kind of tough to judge so far because they're in these tough times right now. And who knows what they would have do with him if they were able to just go all out with Brodie Lee when there was no, you know, handcuffs involved where they couldn't go certain places or do certain things. What are your thoughts so far on Brodie Lee? We haven't really had him in a big feud yet, obviously. Haven't had him face any big-time wrestlers in AEW yet. Are you still digging this Dark Order stable, or are you kind of done with it?
I'm not. It doesn't seem like the Dark Order anymore. It just seems like something completely different now.
But I
because look, I'll go back to the Jericho podcast a little bit with Brodie Lee, or when he was Harper, when he said they wanted him to be a Southern wrestler where he works in the bayou with Bray Wyatt. He follows his cult. He says, "I'm from New York" or whatever. So maybe they're trying to play up. He's trying to become his own leader, his own group, make it more of a New York Sicilian style, you know, mobster look like that. And it just seems, some of the stuff that he's using seems a lot like Vince. It does. The steak, the sneezing, I mean, all this, the jacket, how Vince does his jacket in his car, someone puts it on it. I mean, just all that stuff. You have to wear a suit when you're around me. I mean, type stuff, yeah. So, it does, but you know what? I don't know. It's kind of weird with this whole thing with Brodie Lee because I really want to see him do. I don't like his ring outfit really that much. I feel like it should be something different.
His ring
I
outfit,
do like,
you saying?
Yeah, because it's weird with the. It looks like a cross between like Christopher Daniels and Christian Cage from TNA type thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I like Brodie. I want him to come in there and just be a badass by himself. But now it's like the Dark Order is like taking a turn, which Evil Uno isn't even really used no more, which I originally thought he was the main guy behind everything. Because when he was doing it, it felt like it was some kind of Ninja Turtles type thing. Come join the Foot Soldiers. It felt like that. But now it's like, I guess, Super Brodie. There you go.
Why would a leader of the satanic dark cult be named fucking Brodie? Well, now it's Mr. Brodie Lee, right? Mr. Brodie Lee? Or
Yep,
it's called
Mr. Brodie Lee.
Other than that, he's fine to me. Says glamorous, but his ring outfit is awful. He agrees with you on that. I mean, he wrestled in dirty shirt for years in WWE and the Indies, says Bobaruski. Also, he's always had that attire when he was in the Indies as well. I did not know that.
Okay, so I know him and Evil Uno used to work together on the Indies, too.
His ring outfit is Bryan Adams in Chronic. There you go.
Yeah, everyone did that.
Marty was supposed to be the original leader, Black Mom. But, hey, I had my own little concept on how Marty was going to be the leader, and he was going to bring Brodie with him, and they were going to become this whole Dark Order, and obviously Marty went back to ROH. Wouldn't you ask height and weight to someone who's going to wrestle for you, says Bobaruski? There you go.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I mean, so yeah, that's kind of strange. But what happened to them going after the Elite?
I think everything is kind of thrown back, dude. I think everything, obviously a lot of what they were going to do, the cage match, the blood and guts, the bar, that
wasn't involving them though.
The parking lot brawl. Well, everything that they were probably had scheduled to do, they probably just said, "Fuck it, we're gonna put it back and wait till the time is right," because we would have gotten these matches already. If AEW really wanted to, they could have pulled off Blood and Guts. They could have pulled off all these other shows, but they are having a pay-per-view soon, so maybe they're saving a lot of it for the pay-per-view. You know, which is Go ahead.
What would have made more sense for this little Dark Order group if someone for the Elite ended up being the Exalted One and being the leader? That would have made the most sense because, like, oh, wait, what's going on here? They're doing a takeover. He's trying to take over AEW now. Like a Cody Rhodes.
Well, a lot of people were mentioning Hangman for a minute there to be the guy.
I don't know if he would maybe. But to me, a Cody Rhodes would have been perfect if he ended up being the leader of this group. Because that way he's trying to take over now and screw over Tony Khan and Kenny and all them and take over the whole company. Like we've seen before with the NWO. But yeah. I mean, that would have made more sense because it would have added a top star to this Dark Order group. I'm not saying Brodie can't be a top star, the main event guy, but I don't know if he's there yet. To me, you should have started with a Hollywood Hogan type to be the main leader of this group. Like you can say Jericho's that, but yeah.
Or Marty. Marty could have been that guy, but obviously
I don't know if a lot of people consider outside of the world of WWE. I know we're not trying to compare the two, but you look at those guys and they're the top guys of these groups and all intertwined together. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Marty would have really been that. A Cody, a Kenny. Can you imagine if it was Kenny who was the leader of this group?
Yeah. It'd be interesting, and I think a lot of them are probably worried that, like Bobaruski said earlier when we were talking about Kenny and why he's not facing other opponents, that they would feel like he's doing a power move and trying to put himself over all the time. And if Kenny did do that and be the leader of the Dark Order, I think a lot of people would be bitching and moaning that, oh, look at Kenny, he has all this power with AEW, he's just allowed to do whatever the hell he wants. And I think maybe they don't want that criticism. Even though it probably wouldn't be true, but I don't think people would necessarily, buy that, I'm sure everyone's heard of the Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes great classic matches over the years. Who do you think booked those matches? Dusty Rhodes. He booked all those matches. Dusty was the booker, and he booked himself in the main event. It worked because it was some great stuff. Stuff we still talk about today with Dusty and Flair. Dusty booked a lot of that stuff in Jim Crockett Promotions. Heck, the name of the airplane that they got from Jim Crockett was called Stardust. So you're saying that they should just take the risks and not care about what the criticisms may become? Yeah,
because the people who are watching the show aren't going to care.
Because, they just shit out, roses, right? Is that what you're saying? AEW can't do anything wrong, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, to their fans, yes. Because they're not, whatever they do, they're not going to criticize them for it. They're just going to be like, okay, who cares? This is what they should be doing. The fans who criticize them now are still going to criticize them no matter what they do.
Yeah, that's true. Raven Blood says, that dude with the shitty punches to Dustin ruined the rivalry with the Dark Order and the Elite. She also said, could the ex-college football player thing be shots to Roman, The Rock, and others that were signed by Vince?
How was that a shot at Roman?
Because he was an ex-football player.
How? half the fucking roster is ex-football players.
That's what she's saying.
So,
is that
was it a shot at Baron Corbin?
Could this have been a shot at certain wrestlers? Because it seems like if you're an ex-football player,
oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
You're handed the golden shovel.
Okay, I like that idea better than saying, "Oh, this is a shot at Bray Wyatt." But if you want to say, "Is this a shot at the ex-football players who are handed these big spots," or maybe a Ronda Rousey, or these people who just get handed everything.
They come from the big times, from the sports.
Okay, I can agree with that.
They come into the WWE and they're just kind of handed the main event at WrestleMania. They're handed a title shot, handed titles, that kind of a thing. Yeah, that's
okay. I can agree with that part of that promo. Yeah,
that's actually.
I don't know if it's just a straight shot at Roman Reigns.
No. She meant Roman and others that were football players.
Oh, okay.
For some things, they want actual reactions to. Bob Ruski says, I agree with him on that. If you're the leader, why don't you have your boys come down to the ring with you to have your back? Because they're probably quarantined at the moment. But I think they would if this wasn't all going down right now, honestly. Brodie Lee looks like a geek coming out by himself. You're supposed to be the leader of a cult. Where are your cult members? Hey, look at that.
You lead by example.
And Bill thinking alike there. I like that.
You lead by example. Let's move on, though. We talked about this way too much. You lead by example, though. I would say that's why Brodie does what he does.
Hold on. I'm finishing up these comments. Chris Mack says, I don't think it's a matter of Dark Order sucking. I just think it's tough for them to gain any momentum with the lack of options at the moment. Probably an obvious take, but I don't know. Yeah.
We don't know what kind of reaction they would get because with Brodie now, because with little crowds. Because who's to say they would have reacted like they did? Because anytime they came out, they've had zero reaction.
Well, with Brodie, I think they would have gotten a reaction. I think honestly,
we'll never know.
Yeah, true.